What's up, everybody? Time for an all-new episode of SCNS Live, the Super Cool Nerd Show. Thank you for joining us out there in the Super Cool Nerd Nation for another week of news, nerds. Dreamhack is this weekend. Yes! The spiritual successor to E3 as far as I'm concerned. At the K. Bailey Hutchinson starting tomorrow, going throughout the weekend. It's a Memorial Day weekend, too. You got a Monday to chill if you want to go out there and just, have all kinds of fun. I'm so ready. This is one of my favorite cons to attend, so I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm Jason the X. Over here, that's Cass.
My name's Cass. Ow.
I was trying to find a
party.
party.
Not even the right muscle.
And over there's Cass. Cat, come over.
Don't touch me.
All right, fine.
That's very
Because you look creepy if you keep going.
Yeah. Over there, making the show run and back on the board, thankfully, is Cora.
Hi.
Chances of a
I
competent
brought
stream.
not spiked soda.
Sure.
Apple juice.
I have to say, our chat was very rude to me last week when I was on the board. A couple of them just like, who let Jason do? Man, I've been doing this for much longer. I don't care what y'all. That was very rude of
Then
some
what's
of
your
you.
excuse?
What do you mean? Oh,
Ooh, burn.
To me? To me?
that was mean. My feelings. I might have to cry.
That's fair.
I may have to cry.
Do it.
Anyway, no. Did you say
Do it.
Happy World Goth Day for all y'all out there that celebrate? Cora did not intend to dress up for this holiday.
Celebrate. To all you
Yeah.
for those that celebrate and honor
Yeah,
the holiday.
I've been listening to like my punk and goth music and dressed like this, and I had no clue that that's what
I
it
assume
was.
like listening to My Chemical Romance. I have no idea.
She walked in and I was like, Happy Goth Day. She's like,
Really?
wait, for real?
Yeah.
You bring
I
it up. I
changed
was
my
belting
makeup
Helen
so
when
much.
I was working today.
I was going to put on some eyeliner, but it would have been disastrous. So,
I dressed up as every goth girlfriend's girlfriend.
sure.
The Home Depot lesbian.
No,
It's true.
accurate. Anyway.
But
yeah,
also, we offered to do your eyeliner, and
Nah,
you
that's
were
all
mean
right.
about it.
I don't know how that would look on me. I'm not. Oh, wait, I did it for the one. You
It's
did it for me.
eyeliner. It always looks good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So now that we're all back, Dreamhack is happening this weekend, but what the heck? I know, you know what? Some recent news just dropped. I'm going to turn it over to our field correspondent. Cass, what have you got for us?
So, Alex Garland is directing. We had rumors that Alex Garland was going to direct an Elden Ring movie a couple of months back, and it was confirmed like an hour and a half ago by like Variety, Vulture, IGN, all these places. We are getting Elden Ring, the movie, directed by the one, the only Alex fucking Garland.
Yay. I don't
Who's
know
that?
very much about Elden Ring.
That's absolutely fair, huh?
I'm just kidding.
What is it? What
I
was
said,
your question?
Who's that? Who's
Alex Garland. If you don't know who Alex Garland
What
is,
has he directed?
directed Ex Machina, directed Civil War that came out last year, directed Annihilation, one of the creepiest, most horrifying movies I've ever seen. We both had
Very
incidents where we had to
strong
literally
reaction.
walk away from the movie. It was so creepy. And for Elden Ring, that absolutely worked so well.
Didn't he also do? I think it was. I keep saying Warframe. That's not the correct one.
Warfare that just came out.
Warfare, yeah.
That's the only one of his movies that I haven't seen yet.
Oh, I
it came
saw
out in
Warfare.
April. So yeah, I just haven't gotten there yet.
I saw Warfare. Hey, veterans. Maybe
Like trigger warning.
chill.
Like,
Just like, hey, just maybe if marijuana is something that's prescribed to you, as far as PTSD, go do it. If you are a vet, you may have some feelings during this movie. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I think it's good to have those kind of like warnings because you don't want to have to pay attention for all. But when something hits true, like it's good to know.
There were just there were a couple moments where it was like, ooh, kind of spot on. Just as a viewer, like,
I'm actually going to give a similar warning for Men, which is one of his other movies. If you're a woman,
Careful
but
for all the reasons you
it's just
say.
yep. For all of the reasons that you think.
The
It's
title does say
it's
a
a
lot.
very good movie. It was really difficult to watch.
It's
Well-
like for me when I saw that Anna Kendrick was directing that Stalker movie, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Actually, I'm not going to engage
Yeah.
with that. It's good to know. It's good to know what's going to fuck
like trigger warnings.
And like
for
when
sure.
you're okay
Warfare
with
was
it.
great though, but Elden Ring, wow! So brutality is something that's in the Elden Ring type games.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay,
He's
let's
gonna-
do this.
Yeah, he's gonna have to, I think, step up his game CGI wise. But he's also, his budget is going to skyrocket
Yeah.
in comparison to his
He's
other
gonna have
projects.
to do something he doesn't do a lot, which is mess with scale.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not scale of consequences, scale of
Things.
Physical
baddies.
scale. Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
Are you happy?
But,
Did you get
but
this out of your
also,
system?
if anyone has any doubt that A24 can handle Elden Ring, I'm just going to point everyone to the Green Knight, also because I want more people to watch the Green Knight.
It's on the list.
But look at any screenshot from that movie, and it looks like it could be a screenshot from Elden Ring.
I'm not sure, like, as far as, like, Elden Ring goes, I'm not sure anybody can handle it. But,
Yeah.
like, this is the best bet.
Yeah, this is the best case scenario we got going.
And they're
I'm
small
confident.
enough in some ways to where they'll still have to be careful about CGI, which is good.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just going to CGI it front to back.
Yeah. This is also, I mean, this is very much an experiment. This is the first time we've gotten anything like this from any From Software property. So I am trying to be very cautiously optimistic.
got
I'm
plenty of
also
time.
vibrating in my seat.
Yeah.
So like, I'm very difficult to stay calm, but I'm trying to manage
Thought we had
the
a massaging
expectations.
couch there for a second.
Make no mistake, we're going, like, I don't know about Cass, but I'm going to go try and see this on opening night.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah. And it just got announced. We
Yeah,
are
like,
years away.
Breaking
Yeah.
news.
I don't care how long it takes. They can take as long as they want. I've waited, I think, 5 years at this point for the Backrooms movie. Because they had to wait for the kid to turn 18 before they could start.
Yep. So
I'm fine.
anyway, yeah, that's our breaking news.
Cool. All right. So, yes, I see Jace in the chat's talking about, yes, he will be at Dreamhack. I'll be there starting tomorrow, bright and early. A whole crew should be down. We hope to get some great interviews. It's, like I said, go check out some of the indie gaming. I wonder what they're going to do this year that's going to really stick out, because...
I mean, last year it was the D&D one shot for us.
Oh.
That was an absolute blast.
Where we met our best friend.
We met our best friend Erica Ishii, and just hung out for a while.
Also, our
Hours.
friends, the Five-Sided Fates, are doing some gaming down there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
go support our buddies down there as well.
Some of us might be helping out on
never
some
know.
DMing
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Junkie can't work a computer.
Some of us.
Oh my goodness.
She'll
Anyway,
get it this weekend.
She'll literally get it tomorrow.
okay, help her set it up. Too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
I'll-
help her set up her Mac.
I'll help her set up.
That's her job.
I was
Did
saying
it
that in general.
professionally for several years.
I was just saying that in general. I know
Not the setup. I, was
I know
too
who
good for
handles
that.
this. Who handles that business?
Oh
Anyway.
yeah, I even helped.
I set up my
Cass with her
iPhone.
up to one question. It's easy.
But
But
anyway,
yeah, we'll do
it's
it.
going to be a great weekend. I can't wait. At the K. Bailey Hutchinson Center, not too late to get tickets. Go have fun. Anyway,
great-
So
It's an
there's some
amazing
weird
show.
stuff happening in Dreamhack before we even get into news. Some
What?
cool stuff that's happening. Dreamhack, they're doing D&D games. They're doing a bunch of esports stuff. They're doing Overwatch 2 stuff. They're doing the GeoGuessr America's a Final, which has not been an esports thing. GeoGuessr. Yeah, America's Final with like a 14 grand first prize or something. I'm going to try and interview a GeoGuessr. I think that'd be a fun interview to do.
Are you gonna ask them where you are?
oh,
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to track you down with it.
I just need to find something to. I need to go find something to bludgeon you with. Excuse me.
There'll be some other things. There's drag queens are coming back. They're doing a Dungeons and Drag Queens thing, but not with like
Ooh, don't tell
D&D.
Ken Paxton.
Yep.
If there's another tall one that wants to look snottily down on me, I might have to reawaken the feelings I found
I
out I
mean,
had last year at Dreamhack.
If they want to use me as, like, the carpet.
Okay.
to the stage.
Yeah,
Fine.
We can
Sure.
play stairs.
Yeah.
I'll be the stairs.
Anyway, lots of cool stuff, and not just the single girlies thirsty at Dreamhack this weekend.
I just have
And
more
Jason
respect
being
for drag
respectful.
queens than I do myself.
Well,
I'm
we are partners.
You can stop this thirst anytime. Just say kick it off.
Does it really ever stop?
It can be.
It just pauses, really. Tell you what,
Insert
let's
it
go
into other
ahead and
stories.
kick this thing off with some super cool nerd news. Okay, I honestly want to get this bummer of a story out already. So let's talk Ocean Gate, because Netflix is about to talk it. We have a documentary coming out in June, basically chronicling the events leading up to Ocean Gate, the tragic yet somewhat predicted catastrophe that happened, where you let a billionaire who thought he could do anything run a submersible to depths of the ocean that could crush things instantly. And guess what happened? Something was crushed instantly. A lot of this documentary coming out June 11th. Wow, it's almost the anniversary of when it happened.
Almost like that was planned.
Almost. Anyway, this event happened June 18th, 2023. This will air on Netflix. It's basically, and it's really painting this billionaire in a bad light. Not that hard to do, I'm sure. But, yeah, using words like psychopathic. I think we watched the trailer before we started. It's called Titan, the Ocean Gate Disaster. It's going to feature testimony from a lot of people involved in the process, including those within his company, who no one's really saying anything good about this guy. This tragic event led to the death of him and 5 other people, including a young kid who really didn't even want to be there. Let me see. I love this one. There's no way of knowing when Titan would fail, but it was a mathematical certainty that it would fail. Yeah, and this is one, I thought Stockton was a borderline psychopath. You'll feature testimony from people who actually had to go to the investigation from the U.S. Coast Guard's Marine Board that said this thing was unsafe before it even kicked off. There's going to be clips from what's the guy's name? Rush. Sorry.
Rush Limbaugh?
No, Stockton Rush.
He had his own problems.
Stockton Rush was the billionaire that was responsible for all this. Basically, piloting something with a video game controller. In case you missed it, this event happened about an hour and a half into them diving. All radio contact was dropped, and the sound of something that could only be described as an explosion was actually an implosion. Probably ended these people's life immediately. Wreckage was found 4 days later, and a lot of investigations were done about why this happened in the first place. I know we were talking y'all don't do documentaries a lot.
I don't do tragedy documentaries a lot because I think in a lot of cases they're exploitative and the families frequently don't want that to happen. I feel differently about this one.
This is kind of like a cautionary tale of anybody else that would try to do, which one I'm almost requiring this to be watched by people. This comes out June 11th on Netflix. It will debut at Tribeca on June 6th.
There's a feeling that billionaires have to know what they're doing on some level. I think a lot of that's been destroyed, hopefully. Yeah. But a lot of cases, people are they've got to have it in check, and no, they don't.
You
They're
can't
some of
do
the most
everything.
Unhinged people.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked a lot into the construction of the Titan afterwards and how much they kind of sacrificed in safety. And I have been on a submarine and I didn't like it at all. But put me in one the size of a Volkswagen and say we're going down the depths of where the Titanic are?
Nope.
Someone should have said no, but apparently they were afraid to tell this guy no. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, there's only one billionaire money person that I would trust to take me down to the Titanic, and that's James Cameron.
Yeah.
Literally.
Actually,
that's not a joke. Actually, James Cameron actually has piloted submersible boats.
Yeah.
He has experience.
The joke is that he made Titanic so that he could fund going to the Titanic one more time, because all those shots of the Titanic underwater are from him. Are the Titanic from him, but also he's gone there I think 4 times now.
Something like that.
4 or 5 times. He's an expert on the Titanic first, and the director second.
Well,
So
I was just
I would
thinking,
trust him.
it's funny too, though, that the super rich doing a seafaring disaster, that's never happened.
Yeah.
The Titanic was awesome.
One of the things I actually did in the Navy was pilot submersibles that we would use to blow up mines and check out things in the bottom of the ocean. It's not easy work when you're doing it remote controlled. Heaven forbid, you put 5 people there and say, okay, everybody, let's go. Mm-mm. when you get under the water, it is a different. It's literally a different world.
It's one of the few times I wish like we could have Kurt on this show. He worked Nuke on subs. Like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, he had a lot of problems from it. Like physical stuff. So he'll get money.
But also,
for
I trained for many hours to do that.
Yeah.
And that was a remote control one. This is, yeah.
I would
Required
be
watching.
sorry too. I couldn't do it.
I think if anybody would consider placing their lives in the hand of someone that doesn't know what they're doing, maybe should watch this. If you were thinking about doing that, go ahead and watch this. Maybe it'll save a life in the future.
And the billionaires don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know we can get into all that, this is different. People lost their lives for something completely stupid.
Yeah.
Don't do it. So, yeah. That's...
Especially that kid.
Yeah.
That should have never happened.
I feel bad for the kid.
Yeah, I feel bad for the
anybody
kid
that
and the
thought
kid.
they were going to be safe doing this, because I'm pretty sure they didn't go down thinking that, oh, we'll be fine. I'm pretty sure, hey guys, we'll be safe. I'm pretty sure he told all the lies he needed to tell.
The thing is, like, there's evidence to suggest from people that were on the outside, like before they got in, that they were seeing a lot of the problems from the outside. And like we saw what it looked like inside before they even went down there, and it's just basically a window, a board for them to sit on, and a game controller.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, they weren't even secured in anything.
Yeah, there was no secure things or anything
just
like that.
On a play mat.
Yeah, like he had to coerce. I think he had to coerce them. That's hearsay. That's conjecture. That's not real. I'm assuming he had to convince them.
Anyway, it's a bummer story, but I am going to watch the documentary because it's
I think
interesting.
It'd be a good documentary.
Well, Kat, what you
I was typing a scathing response to "Do billionaires have more advanced Netflix?" I was going to say, what do you think that looks like? Is it just the upstairs part of like Downton Abbey? They just skip the servants. Okay, so speaking of billionaires and whether they know what they're doing, so the Superman trailer came out, right? And first of all, James Gunn is already dispelled a rumor about Lex Luthor, and Cass got this. What would be the biggest, like, I wonder if Lex Luthor will be doing this Lex Luthor thing that Lex Luthor does. What's a potential storyline if you're focusing on Lex Luthor?
Him being president?
Yes, that's not happening. He's not the president.
Yeah,
that has already been cleared up. What he is somebody who has some social ties and a lot of resources and proximity to those in power. Who does that sound like?
Hopefully
super wealthy.
Hopefully the
guy.
smarter version of that person.
Here's the thing. I'm going to get a little conspiracy theory for a second.
I wanna
So,
say that.
Metamorpho, right? Metamorpho's going to be in this. Metamorpho can transform different parts of his body into, like, different chemical elements. And he is a good guy. He's one of the good guys, presumably. Why does he have kryptonite?
Because he can do kryptonite.
Why would he want to?
Well, I mean, in that scene, it looks like he's basically keeping Superman in check
Why?
in a cell.
I don't know a lot about Metamorpho. My guess is that he is.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was actually coughing.
My guess is that he's neutral.
I have a strong theory around him still being very much a good guy.
Okay.
Mind control. Neuralink.
Ooh.
I feel like part of this movie is going to be them talking about how, the whole crux of it is Superman basically interrupts a war. And he maybe broke some international laws doing so. Which, fair. Also, I don't have a problem with it. But maybe them having some sort of tribunal or something where they actually put him in jail for international crimes. And unfortunately, his cellmate has to be Metamorpho, who just has to follow him around everybody to keep him underpowered.
And maybe that's very much what it is. I don't know whether it's more interesting to explore somebody who has good intentions and has broken some laws, or a power structure that would keep the power that what people need in check. I don't know. I just think like mind control can be a very lazy go-to, but if they're doing like dangerous experiment stuff that couldn't have been. I don't think Metamorpho would ever.
I think what you're saying would be more complex and right up James Gunn's alley. So yeah, I see that actually happening.
Jace in the chat said that Metamorpho is probably going to be their version of Vision.
Yeah, that very
And
much
there's
makes
a
sense.
strong
And
case for
understand, Metamorpho is super powerful. Anything
Also-
he can create it. So
Also, Anthony Kerrigan can get it anytime.
Anthony Kerrigan, and I think that speaks to how his personality, like he tends to be like a chill, kind of friendly-ish guy, and Anthony Kerrigan has a tendency to play like gangsters that are too happy.
Played Zaz in Gotham.
Zaz in Gotham, it plays an iconic character in Barry.
Yeah.
What?
I forget what his name is, but like he's just a happy gangster.
do that.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
you do. Anytime we start getting really thirsty,
Oh,
you
The
throw
Office?
that Jim stare.
Okay.
Oh,
You
no,
do.
you 100% do
Okay.
that.
I didn't know I do that. Okay. I get it from Carol Burnett.
No, like
That's fair.
it's- You've let us be thirsty, and I appreciate that about
To a
you.
limit. There always
Even
has
if
to be
you
a limit.
don't.
I am
Okay.
excited for the Superman movie because honestly, I have a lot of problems with Superman, and they pretty much, right at the beginning of that trailer, attack one of the reasons why I think that's what Superman would actually be. Look, as someone that's been to war, hey, if I'm Superman and there are two countries getting ready to go to war, I'm going to go tell them to stop. 3 times. The third one is not going to be nice, but y'all ain't about to sit out here and kill each other.
By the way, shout out to my friend Dallas for turning me around on Superman. I used to hate him, now I love him.
I'm excited for this one.
Shout out to
1000%.
her friend Dallas for not being able to turn me around on Superman. But I'm ready for Dallas and James Gunn to maybe partner. I have a problem with his lack of vulnerability or being so targeted. And it looks like they're undermining some of like neutral people could undermine you, or good people could maybe be, I don't know, more complex. Anyway, I had to get from billionaires to superheroes, so I'm going to throw it to Cass.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah. So, Kat and I watched a movie on Tuesday.
Movie.
A movie. We saw Thunderbolts.
Yes!
And I will say, this has been kind of middling at the box office.
Oh,
And
it's down.
it surpassed Incredible Hulk and the Marvels. But
So it's
it
the
has
3
made twice
lowest.
its budget. So that's good. But I think if you listen to me, go ahead and go watch this movie. This was a fun ride, and this had something that has been lacking in a lot of Marvel projects, which is good guys who are also assholes. I mean,
First
the
off.
MCU started out with Tony Stark, who I love. He's one of my favorite characters. He sucks so much of the time, and I love that. I love a catalyst. I love when any characters aren't perfect, when they suck sometimes, when they're dicks sometimes, and that was here, and I absolutely loved it.
First off, how dare you say that about Florence Pugh? I will not.
As
I will.
much
I will.
Florence
I
Pugh
will
as
Not as
not.
much
others.
Florence
No.
Pugh.
Okay. I will not hear this slander. Okay.
I
No.
mean, Florence Pugh is my perfect angel, and I love
Let
her, and I love
hot
Yelena.
girlies be assholes.
She rescued
sometimes.
a guinea pig. All right.
She did.
I will-
Spoilers.
I will admit there was the one part of the movie where she is
Spoilers.
having her speech with Red Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Cried.
felt that.
I
Cried so
cried
hard.
more than
Oh.
I've cried in a Marvel movie, maybe ever.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Most of them are not
She-
going for that and don't do that. But this one, yeah.
Yeah.
She really made you like the Yelena character, which I've just enjoyed her more and more. I enjoyed her in Hawkeye.
I have never cosplayed a character from the MCU. Thunderbolts makes me want to cosplay Yelena.
But just the rest of that cast. I mean, redeeming John Walker, kind of.
He was one. Oh, I loved it.
I hate U.S. Agent in the comics because U.S. Agent is a complete and utter raging dick.
Which, exactly,
Pulled it off.
exactly. He's such an asshole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it does have, from the chat, Jace, they're echoes of the Winter Soldier. It's a very
For sure.
personal, like, story. Like, can you step up and do a thing?
Remember we were joking around about how the hell did Bucky get elected to Congress
Yeah.
in Brooklyn of all places?
And the thing is, this movie makes it very clear He doesn't know either.
Yeah.
No,
No,
he is completely out of his element, and I love it. It is exactly what we were joking around about.
Him just being like, ugh.
Yeah.
He has no idea.
I think my only major complaint is that the dialogue is still very, very on the nose. We're not doing a lot of subtext, and I love subtext. I get that a lot of action movies don't have as much as I would personally like, but that's really my one complaint. The rest of it I thought was great.
Important question.
Yeah.
Do they do the jokey joke thing a lot?
They
different.
They
I
do
mean,
it in
look.
character,
Yeah.
which is something that we haven't
Okay.
seen for a while. It's not the same jokes by everybody. They tell different kinds of quips based on character, which we haven't seen for years.
I've never understood fans' relationship with jokes, as it turns out. So, like, I don't feel qualified to have an opinion on that because I didn't think it was that bad before, and I thought Ragnarok bad.
And can we just say that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the best thing to come out of Seinfeld?
Well,
That's not hard.
bar.
I'm just saying. She
Yes.
was so great
We
in this
can
movie.
agree
I
on
loved
that.
her in this movie.
Why her hair looks so much like an actual, very specific administration person doesn't seem like an
There are
accident.
some things that are on the nose.
Everything's on the nose. That's what I was going to say. Looking back on it, it's not, to me, that the dialogue's on the nose. It's that subtext
But
does not exist.
Also, let's not just look at the
For the
joke.
most part.
There are some very dark moments in this movie. Yes, there are some dark shock moments. So don't get it twisted. It balances out.
The little girl.
Shush! Don't talk. We're
That's
not.
it. That's
no
all I'm gonna
spoilers.
say.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's pretty heavily themed around mental health in some ways, which is surprising from like an action hard hitter like that. But like I liked it. I liked
It's a
the
very
big,
good movie.
I
And
liked
we've
the big
seen-
bad and how the big bad came about and what they looked like and the partnership with power and all of that. I thought it was really solid. I'd give it like an 8, 8.5.
Bucky was the first to win by write-in votes. Bucky got
It feels very Mean Girls. I'm voting for Katie Heron because she pushed Regina George in front of a bus.
seriously.
Yeah.
But Bucky won in a predominantly black district.
I just
Because
think
they
it's,
saw who's friends with Sam.
He's been hung out with both Captain Americas. Hell yeah, I'm gonna vote for this dude. Not one, but both.
The only
you
Avenger.
know which one he didn't hang out with? The one that sucked.
Quite literally invited to the cookout.
Also, friggin' the first Captain America, Weapon Zero, Isaiah Bradley,
Yeah.
which apparently Isaiah Bradley handed him his ass. So,
Yeah.
but then he later on protected him. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Bucky-
really
Bucky
good.
won.
Go see Thunderbolts.
yeah, Bucky won the black
good
vote.
time.
It's awesome.
The less you know about the story, the better.
Yes.
So our bad, but like it was really good. I cried. I laughed a lot.
Yes.
And just 2 hour and 6 minute runtime. Perfect.
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 That's our review.
All right.
Run it, Core.
All right. So we heard words from a convention we did not expect to hear anything from and haven't heard anything from for over a year. And that is A-Kon Dallas. So A-Kon announced like barely a week ago that like, hey guys, we're still here. We're not dead forever. They this is just a gist of what they had said. You can find the full thing on their YouTube or not their YouTube. That's wrong. They don't
Their
have a
website.
YouTube. Their website, acon.com, I believe it is, a-con.com. Here, I'm gonna just push this live while I read the notes. So their event was canceled in 2024, and we were radio silence. We didn't even hear much about getting refunds for people that had already pre-ordered their tickets at the event that had happened the year prior. They've promised the event will not be as rushed as it was in previous years, so we're not going to see anything until 2026, but most likely 2027 is when we're going to see A-Kon's return. No word on venues. They're still working that out. The previous management, before the new team had taken it over, did kind of screw everybody over in terms of everything for the convention centers. A lot of fans actually want them to return to the Fort Worth Convention Center because the gardens and such, or the water gardens and such, were really good places for photographs. The convention was actually a pretty big space.
Well, it's a place that Anime Frontier has taken over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could still do it there too. A lot of people also were asking them to go back to the Sheraton. I don't want them to go back to the Sheraton. That's too small for them now.
Yeah.
They have stated that they have sent out refunds once again. Or not once again, but they have started doing the refunds as of a week prior to this announcement, which was May 15th when they made this announcement, so a week prior to that. And people have mentioned they've been getting their returns, and they've already stated, hey, if you haven't gotten your refund yet, talk to us. We'll get that sorted. So they've been very transparent on that.
Okay.
People have been asking, like, why did this all break down? And the answer that they gave us was that there were financial issues behind the scenes, not because they couldn't afford it, but some financial stuff that they didn't disclose.
Yeah.
They were trying to find new investors. They were unable to do so. They weren't able to collect funds that they were owed from previous vendors and such. So it was just a culmination of a lot of that. I don't know how much, like, I feel mean saying this, but like, I don't know how much of this I believe fully. I'm not taking this at full face value because I understand what the previous management had done, and I have seen how the new management has treated stuff. They keep stating over and over they haven't gone corporate, but I saw what the dealers hall looked like in the 2 years before they shut down. And it was filled with corporate shills and generic stuff. When they were at the Fort Worth Convention Center, they had big, like, Sprint and big corporate logos everywhere.
Yeah.
So, no, y'all are still kind of corporate. Y'all can say it. Like, it's fine.
I think...
Don't hide. But
I'm sorry to say, at this point, I don't want it to die, but I don't think we're ever going to achieve the levels of greatness that it was once at.
yeah.
If we really want to go back, let's go back to the Sheraton downtown.
No, there's not enough space. That's the problem.
Yeah,
The reason they
it's a
moved.
big convention.
The
But
reason
they need to get on their feet somewhere.
They do, but look at how big that convention is now. A-Fest can't even do that convention center anymore.
Well, we're never going to go back to the Hilton Anatole.
Well, no, the Hilton Anatole will never let anyone do
ban.
conventions because they have that water park now. But the Sheraton, as much as I would like that, because I do prefer the Sheraton as a venue, it is too small. There is not a convention that we go to now that can host at the Sheraton.
What about the one they usually held QuakeCon at?
That was the Hilton Anatole.
No, in...
The Gaylord?
The Gaylord.
Yeah,
Gaylord's a big space.
The Gaylord is a big space. The problem is it's also prime real estate. So the reason they have not gone there before, I'm guessing, is one, the price, and two, it's been booked. They had WeebCon there, and that was a disaster.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, I seem to remember some of that.
Yeah, people like drinks got spiked. People had to park several miles from the convention center.
Yeah.
I mean, but we're missing out on like a really big hotel con. Like MomoCon in Atlanta is going on this weekend. That's a great con to go to.
Which I just want to throw out there for people. I went to the first few years of MomoCon when it started. It was in the student center at Georgia Tech. That's where it started. It was a free convention.
Wild.
The only people that had to pay anything were vendors, and they paid like $10 for their table. But fun fact, I had to shelter from a tornado there. That was weird.
Sandra, we are missing. I don't know if are there any hotels around that could host
That we need to
A-Kon
expand our
anymore?
horizons when it comes to the idea of cons. They need to be like booking like Six Flags for a weekend in November, or like do some weird stuff.
Is that
like
Hyatt
shake it up.
downtown viable anymore? I know I've been to a couple cons there.
Take over a college campus.
The problem is A-Kon truly is just too big for a hotel.
Well, it's not big anymore because it doesn't exist.
The clientele, the amount of people that are going to go, it made the Fort Worth, or not Fort Worth, the Dallas Highland Park crowded.
I was going through a lot of those comments on that page when they made this announcement, and man, there was a lot of disappointed people. And I get it. It was a fun convention.
There are a lot of disappointed people, but those are also the same people that say don't go to Anime Matsuri and still go anyway. So they're going to go regardless because nostalgia. It's still going to be a big enough con that I don't think the Sheraton is a safe place for it, solely because they would have to cap their tickets. And if they have to cap their tickets that low, they're not making a return on investment. Yeah. But there's a lot of factors we also don't know and can't make calls on. We don't know how much money they have to spend for a convention
or
center.
how much they're in debt for.
I think they should team up with A-Fest and bring it back, both of them back together and rent out like an entire venue.
At this point, I'm the meme stick figure of, okay, do something.
Yeah, I would love it if they rented like half the Kay Bailey Center, because I think that would be a great place for them to go and grow.
And there's a hotel literally connected.
There's a hotel literally connected, but it depends on how the management at Kay Bailey feels about it. Since again, the original management kind of burned that bridge.
And they're about to renovate.
And they're about to renovate, but again, they're not even looking at coming back next year.
Yeah.
They said next year as a possibility, but they're looking more towards 2027.
That's what I'm saying. Join with A-Fest to bring A-Fest back, since they're not going to be able to do Dallas and rent out a big venue.
If they were to absorb Anime Fest, one, I'd actually be kind of sad because I liked that they had two different vibes.
I do too, but like Anime Fest isn't going to be here for me.
Yeah, but they would have to. I would say they should rename if they're going to do something like that.
I think they should rebrand
and it's possible.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's very possible that A-Kon's going to rebrand.
That's fucking anime party,
which is going to be interesting. And so far, A-Kon is still was the oldest running anime convention in the country, because it started out in the same year that Dragon Con started.
We had some good times there.
And Dragon Con is the oldest nerd convention that's still going.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. It's been a week. There hasn't been any other updates, but they seem pretty consistent on answering people's questions in the comment sections and such. So they're at least keeping true to their word that they're not like trying to hide anything.
We did a lot of good gags at A-Kon when we would go there.
Well, I mostly worked at Nighthawk Armory, so I don't
I remember I had a sign,
We
need
did
money.
some good gags there.
I had a sign one time as a joke for one of our openings that said, need money for figure arts. I was sitting by a line, we did a bit, and then somebody actually gave me $5. And I was
nice.
Like, no, but they were like, no. They were gone before I could no, this is a bit. But someone actually gave me $5.
That's really funny, because when you gave me $5 in a DM gag, I was like, I'm taking this. This is mine now.
I actually got my first Saint Seiya figure at A-Kon.
I got carried out by the cast of One Piece when we did the joke about the branches.
Yeah.
I do miss that A-Kon was more accessible for the guests they had.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
now I miss it. Crap.
Like, my dream venue for them would be the Anatole, honestly, if the Anatole was willing to do that again. Because I felt like the space was great. I just hate that the clientele of A-Kon is not mature enough to appreciate
Anatole, please don't come back.
stuff and decided to...
That was in our rudest days, though. That's when Homestuck was running wild and dying bathtubs everywhere.
That wasn't the problem.
Proceeded.
We just need to get
some
a
of that.
big boom
The
box.
problem was someone vandalized part of the Berlin Wall. Like, they literally spray painted the Berlin Wall display.
Well, I'm just saying, as a whole, we didn't have
Yeah.
our manners together yet.
Okay.
As conventions, we've gotten somewhat better.
So I'm going to organize. We need a bunch of candles and a boom box. We're going to go to the Hilton Anatole. I'm going to get an overcoat and put it over my head.
Are we
put it over
16
my head.
candles?
Yes.
The Anatole?
Oh, we went two very different ways.
No, I went there too until he said boom
The power of
box.
Christ compels you. The
No.
Anatole, that doesn't even... Okay. No, I understand now.
No, those can come up like it would
Me
be
with a boom
very
box on the
normal.
lawn. In your eyes.
There we go.
The
Okay.
light, the heat.
I didn't watch a lot of...
It was
what
a
is his name?
romance
What's
movie
the
from the
director?
80s. John something.
John Hughes. I didn't watch a lot of John Hughes growing up.
Anyway, that sucks, but I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll see
This is where we are.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. stay tuned for more, I guess, because we'll definitely come in here to judge whatever venue they pick. I'm not gonna lie. Like, let's be real. Whatever venue they pick, we're gonna judge it. As long as you know what, as long as it's not Fair Park again. That was awful. The air conditioner was broken.
That was a
in
disaster.
several buildings in the summer.
That was a disaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
I overheated for the first time at A-Kon.
Hey,
in my
me too.
adult life when
Jason.
we had Junkrat and Roadhog.
Okay, let's see. Where was I going with this? Video game news. Okay, let's talk Marvel Rivals. I love it. We are getting a new strategist, and it is Ultron. Yes, the healer class is going to be Ultron. I'm here for it. Okay.
Interesting.
We are getting a flying support. Right off, role is going to be strategist. Difficulty is to be determined. His health will be 275. His abilities will include an encephalo ray, which burns up your enemies. That'll be his attack. Dynamic flight, so we'll get a flying support this time around. Imperative patch. A giant drone will follow an ally, constantly healing allies within its radius, along with additional healing for the designated ally. Imperative Firewall will summon drones to grant bonus health to nearby allies, centered on Ultron, and ally marked with Imperative Patch. Great for holding objectives, which, oh man, as a strategist, that is some difficult crap. And his ultimate will include some Rage of Ultron summons Ultron drones to fire encephalo rays, which can either damage enemies or heal allies. This will be coming with their 2.5 release coming... Yeah, season 2.5. This releases June 1st, actually. So, yeah, we got Emma Frost as a Vanguard tank class. And, by the way, Emma Frost is amazing as a tank. Like, I typically do not like playing tanky characters. I'm very selective on them. Emma's pretty badass as a tank. Front line girl with her thighs out, messing people up.
This is one of those that you can just look at and see. So you're definitely going to be OP at lower levels. If you like to play like, I like to play like a support who can hold it against everybody in the low enough tier. If I get knocked down, because DPS is always overcrowded, damage is always overcrowded with players. So I like to play people who can have outsized roles in one of the different roles, and like this is where he strikes me. It's like he's going to be OP as fuck.
And
lower
admittedly,
levels.
one of the things as strategists that you suffer from as a game, you're on the back line trying to heal people, and then some duelist gets back there and starts messing you up. There's no escape, especially if it's Iron Fist. And if you play Iron Fist, you're a dick. Sorry. But with the ability to fly would allow you a little bit more versatility on the field and be able to get out of the way of those attacks. Of course, Spider-Man will still be a problem. I hate Spider-Man. Anyway, I like Spider-Man in the comics and hate him in that game. I absolutely hate him in that game.
I love May from Overwatch is absolutely adorable as a character, and I want to strangle her in her sleep when I play against her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In the actual game.
Yeah, actually, it's May 30th that it comes out. It's actually the day before. So
That's nice.
yeah, along with this, there will be a couple of patches and some nerfs for a lot of Captain America players. You are not going to be happy. Y'all are getting nerfed. Apparently, Punisher's getting a buff. Emma's getting a nerf. A lot of tanks are getting nerfs, and that's not some... We want to encourage people to play the Vanguards in this game, guys. Stop nerfing the tanks. So
Everybody has a phase where they gotta nerf tanks, or you just get goats forever with 3 tanks, 3 supports, no damage at the highest level, where they're actually willing to play different roles. You could just like kind of plug it all into your supports, because supports and tanks should be more powerful than DPS in their selective roles.
And honestly, at this point, we have enough strategists or duelists in the game. I would honestly like to see them add one more Vanguard class and another strategist class before they add another duelist. There is enough DPS in this game to go around. Let's add some more support before we go any further.
I haven't looked at the nerfs, but I mean, usually games are pretty good where the nerfs aren't going to affect your lowest tiers very much at all. Like, you can take some hit points from their shield or whatever, but it didn't matter how many hit points it had. I don't know if it's like Overwatch. Who came out with the news that like Soldier has a voice line officially referring to him being queer?
They finally revisited
They're
it.
not
We knew
keeping it.
that.
No, it officially refers to how
Oh, officially.
he had a relationship with Vincent back in the day.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm saying they're not keeping up. You're not doing it.
All right, that's it for Marvel Rivals. Can't wait to play this after I finish Doom: The Dark Ages,
Oh, yeah.
which is great, by the way.
Nice.
Heard good things. Speaking of video games, this one's just kind of a throwaway about Death Stranding 2 is coming out, I think, at some point. Who knows? I don't care. Hideo Kojima has a lot of ideas in his head. This has come out recently that he left, like, he has a USB stick that if he dies are full of his ideas for just his team to continue making cool stuff and some of his ideas. Anyway, he wants to make a video game where the longer you stop playing it, the more skills you forget.
Nope.
I can't decide if this is cool or, like,
I mean, that already
the worst
happens.
thing ever. No, your character loses abilities. And I'm like, first of all, there's a dangerous addiction mechanic there, which he frankly doesn't need. And he said right up front, there's no market for this, actually, that I can identify. People don't want it. I just think it'd be cool if your skills atrophied. And I'm like, our skills do atrophy, you motherfucker. We're trying to work and play when we can.
I like to think that the skills I forget in game are the skills that I actually forgot along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
I can play a video game straight through in a matter of weeks, and I'll still forget skills that I had at the beginning of the game.
Can you imagine playing something like Elden Ring
No.
or a Souls game where that happens?
I have only played Elden Ring at very long intervals because I play it when she can't come to hang out with Christian on a regular weeknight that we hang out.
Still the only game series where I literally just calmly stopped playing, got up and left. Not only stopped playing, left the room, did not come back to that game for a week.
I did that in God of War 2018 a lot, trying to platinum it. But I kept wanting to come back, and that's my rule. If I'm not having fun, then I stop playing.
What?
I almost did that with The Last of Us 2, which at some point I'm going to do a season 2 review, and I'm going to talk about some stuff. But yeah, I almost did that in The Last of Us 2. Just quit playing at one point.
I like
For
playing
weeks.
games that are hard enough that I want to walk away from them for a second. And I like games that are good enough that they call me back.
Yeah.
Like, I went straight past rage to just acceptance. It was so
You
bad.
skipped the first 4 stages?
I skipped all the stages. It happened, and I went, okay. Like, you know how you put your at standby instead of off? Off. I went off. Because
Oh, that's bad. As a tech guy,
Yeah.
I can't do auto updates.
I left this room, I went straight to bed. I think it was like 7:30 at night. I was like,
I did that with Hollow Knight one time. Like, we're done. We're done for today.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the sun was still out. I was like, nope, I'm going to go lay down. That's it.
There's a difference between Tilted, which is a place I've been, and just like,
So I couldn't imagine some crap like this. I already,
Ooh.
Mr.
like these
Kojima-san,
are useless.
we already
Yeah.
forget enough.
He
Trust
also
me.
wants one where you're
being
strongest
respectful.
in aptitude at the beginning of the game because you're like young,
Yeah.
and as you get older, you're not as good at seeing
That could
and
be
reflexes.
that could be an interesting narrative to play
huge
with.
mechanic.
Who wants
Yeah.
to start
Was I
at
unruly
level
respectful
20?
just then? I just
No,
caught
I
that
liked
too.
it. No, I liked it.
Well, it depends on what story he's telling on that one. Because it's not that you're forgetting skills, it's just your character can't do them anymore.
That's so much worse to me. I hate that.
Oh, no. That's such a powerful message about eating.
Yeah.
It's not a good one.
What I'm saying is I want to play a video game, The Substance. That's
You
awful.
just want more substance in your veins. The show. Oh my god, the show.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I want the idea.
Movie, whatever.
But for me, it's not about presentation, it's about skills.
Yeah,
I don't
that's fair.
care that she looks older. And I understand that was part of the whole commodity. The looking older, it's not that. And that was about perception of self.
Yeah.
And it's the idea that, like, you shouldn't try to do, like, you're at your capacity. That I don't like. I don't
Thank
like
you, Jace. I've
forgetting.
never wanted to suck more at video games.
Also, everyone in the
Yeah.
chat, give us a like, please. We're trying to kick the algorithm's ass. Anyway,
I refuse to like our videos. I don't. I'm
Oh,
joking.
okay.
I like them every time I see them.
All right.
That's it.
Oh, I just wanted to give a real quick shout out to a game that I haven't seen anybody talking about, The Siege in the Sandfox. It is a side-scroller stealth video game with some of the most gorgeous indie graphics I've seen in a hot minute. Yeah, it came out a couple of days ago. I have not played it yet, but it is on Steam. It's also on I think Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, so you can get it pretty much no matter what.
I love side scrollers on my Switch.
And it is, love a side scroller, love a stealth game.
It's like Assassin's Creed meets what's the Celeste?
Celeste or The Swindle. If
Yeah.
you ever played that on the Switch, it was
Well,
like a
I
Steam
enjoyed
game.
the last Metroid game that came out.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Switch.
yeah.
They
Very
called
much
it
Metroidvania. Have not played it yet. Definitely plan on it. The Siege in the Sandfox. I just wanted to give a quick shout out because indie games are coming out all the time and we don't always hear about them. Yeah, that's literally it.
It's so pretty.
It's
check it
so
out.
pretty.
It looks really pretty.
Yeah.
I haven't played it either, but
Not
like
yet.
it looks good.
But I will.
All right. So we have an update from Infinity Nikki
Oh.
because, as y'all remember, community not too happy with this new update.
Is this the one with the $1,000 outfits?
Yeah. The $300 outfits.
Yeah.
Not much of a difference.
Only 300.
Oh,
crazy.
300.
I'm going to preface this with, well, it's better than nothing.
Oh.
I mean, they're still giving stuff,
Yeah,
which I appreciate, and they are working to try and fix the issues. As of last night, I am still having my pretty much brand new computer crash because their servers can't handle it. Which is a problem. But they've heard everyone's complaints. The kind review bombing has done something. They're working on it. So I'm trying to be kind about it. They've extended the current banner and season, like everything, until June 12th. This also includes any limited time items and such. They'll all go away on June 12th. They're also the new weekly tasks that they were going to give in the new multiplayer area. Also, June 12th is when they will roll those out instead of now. Players will also receive 360 Starlit crystals, which is the new currency for the new multiplayer area. I believe we've already received those. I think we received those when the update happened. My brain is foggy. I don't remember. There's a lot that's been happening this week. Between June 5th and June 12th, players will receive 120 diamonds and 1 energy crystal per day. So that will be 8 energy crystals total and 960 diamonds, like, collectively. Again, diamonds are part of the currency that you use for, like, to pull on those outfits and such. Again, it's one of those, like, better than nothing, but it still feels like they're trying to do something, but it still feels lacking because the problems that a lot of people are having are still there.
Yeah, and like kind of vaguely softened.
Yeah, it's vaguely softened. I will go around in the multiplayer area collecting my little starlit crystals and my little things and doing my little tasks. And suddenly, just out of nowhere, my game just starts sputtering. I have to unplug my controller to get control of my character again because she'll keep running into a wall.
Call that the Ubisoft experience.
Yeah.
Oh, I call it the boomer game.
But
It's like,
Yeah.
but it's not fun to play. I've had several of my friends that I started playing with have gone, I'm not playing it right now, actually. Because what's the point? There's not even a point to doing the dailies because I can't get them done.
Yeah.
So we'll see what their big plan is. I don't think they've had a game this big to work with before, which is, I think, part of their problem. And if, like, I can live with that. And I don't know this for certain. Make no mistake. Infold, I mostly know from the Love and Deep Space phone game. And that's a point and click game.
Yeah, it's just not very hard on any system.
It's hard on my phone.
Yeah.
But they don't have a PC version for me to play this game.
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of companies that are just more kind of upfront. Like, if they're just like, we messed up. Here are the things in here that we're going to do, that we're doing today, and here are the promises we're going to make. And when they lack that kind of just like crystal clear clarity to be like, we messed up and we know we messed up on this, and here's how we're regaining your trust, then like there's no size of company that you have to be to do that well.
Yeah, and they seem to be doing their best. Admittedly, for the English servers, there might be a bit of a language barrier because this is a Chinese company.
Yeah.
So that might have something to do with it on our end in terms of like what we're seeing from the information. There might be some lost in translation, but they are trying. Their version of trying is not solving the problem though. Because like when I say that there was an update this week, like servers went down while they did maintenance and came back up. And I was still having these problems and people were still having these problems. So I don't know what this update was other than to add new banners because there were 3 new like easier banners because they have 5-star and 4-star banners and the 4-star banners are easy.
Here's what I'm curious. It's a question mainly for you. With all the problems that have been happening with this game, why are you going back to it?
I just go on to do dailies because I'm collecting diamonds.
Okay, it's one of those you're ingrained in everything now.
Dopamine fix.
Yeah, dopamine fix. I like my little dress up game. I like wearing cute little outfits, and I'm not on for more than 20 minutes doing my little dailies
It's like a
when I
break
can.
thing you do at work sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on my 15-minute break. Let me run around in a little cowboy outfit while I collect little flowers and bugs.
Nobody on
Dailies
this
in those
show, I
environments.
think, can judge somebody's hyperfixation, no matter how weird
I
it
can
is.
judge anybody.
We could maybe be watching a
Hyperfixation.
TV show from 2008, and it's fine.
Yeah,
That's weird that you're doing that.
but also
No, but I would just want,
Shout out
as
to
someone
Leverage.
that has a player,
yeah,
like with these issues, because I honestly, when you did this story the first time, I was like, holy crap, like why y'all do your players like this?
Yep.
yeah, and
As an outside source, I never played this game, but whoa.
I've done that and stuff for skins and stuff where I'm like, I'm not into this game that I was into. Shout out Overwatch and Junkenstein's Revenge. At a time where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get really back into this game. If I did, I would want whatever limited rewards. So I played it even though I wasn't that into it anymore. So events are good, I think, for a video game. They bring you back. And yeah, like maintaining a status while I was figuring out. And I never came back to Overwatch.
I did the same thing for Destiny, but no. Unfortunately, when you did the story the first time I was editing it, I needed a descriptive to put in there, and it sent me down a very scary rabbit hole. So then I probably spent 2 hours on learning about, like, wait a minute, what is this? Oh, so it was a series
Careful,
of
you
games.
go for it.
yeah, it was.
So I like started just going down like the wiki hole of Infinity Nikki, and
Yeah,
that just
Put a
didn't sound great.
headline, Infinity Nikki takes a shit on its
What?
players' heads.
And that's what I was trying to understand with what I wrote for the description. It set me off, and I was just like,
Yeah, and it should be noted that like the first games, like Love Nikki, which was the first one, I believe it was originally like a Facebook app game that grew into a bigger app game.
That explains it all.
Like
I
back,
sat
back,
in on a lot of this.
back when like Facebook games were actually really fun.
Yeah, like
No, yeah, but like if you expand from that kind of a game, it
Yeah,
absolutely
it-
makes sense
I
that your
assumed it was
program is
anime
But
working
the thing
backwards.
is,
It's not.
that was a different developer. Like
Oh, okay.
this is not Infold, and people have been saying that it's still the same developer, but Infold is just the publisher.
Yeah.
But Infold's also the one making all of the comments and all of the statements. So I'm led to believe that they're more the developer, or have a hand in it.
Gotcha.
Regardless, please fix it, Infold. I would love to not feel guilty that I've given you money. Please.
I agree.
Yep. Jason.
I'm going to take this opportunity to say something nice about Texas.
What?
I know, right?
What?
So, long-running series from Mike Judge, King of the Hill, ended its run in 2009 with its 13-season show. Well, it is coming back to Hulu for a 14th season. Yes, Hank Hill
King of the Hill?
Hank Hill and all the folks from Arlen, Texas are coming back. We are unannounced for a date for this to debut on Hulu. But if you live in Texas, you can see it early.
What?
Oh, that's cool.
June 30th, ATX TV Festival in Austin will have a screening of the first episode of the season 14 King of the Hill. Now, tickets for this single day, for that day are already sold out.
Yeah.
It's not too late to get a weekend pass. Possibly you can get in there. ATX TV Festival is like Saturday morning. They said Saturday morning cartoon TV for adults. So yeah, lots of screening of other shows. There'll be some panels on other great shows that happened recently, like Andor. But definitely, I would go to this entire festival to watch the first episode of King of the Hill. Heck yeah!
You're a secret King of the Hill fan? I've never watched an episode.
I'll tell you what.
I think it is one of the better adult cartoon shows that were on TV. Period.
I hear that all the time.
It is because it never tried to be anything that it wasn't. All of the drama and things that they dealt with, grounded in reality, obviously, and you actually watched characters have growth over the course of the episodes.
I've heard like mostly good things. I just
yeah, like Peggy Hill, his wife, will have growth in season 1, and it doesn't revert just because they want to do a gag. If it reverts, it has a reason.
So they're having an event based around this. The King of the Hill Backyard Barbecue is where you can watch the show. Yeah, it's called TV Camp for Grown-Ups is what ATX TV Festival is. Like I said, single tickets are sold out, but you can still get passes or badges for the weekend and possibly get in on it. No guarantee, but if you live in Texas and you're close to Austin, this would be your opportunity to watch the first episode of King of the Hill Season 14.
When did it go off air?
2009. After a admirable 13-season run.
My only curiosity with this season, and it's been the curiosity for everyone, is how they're going to handle Luann because her actor passed away, and that was one of the reasons they ended the show.
And also the voice actor for Dale passed on as well.
What? Oh, that's right.
Yes, he did pass on as well. And Dale is, I don't think you could really do this show without Dale, so I welcome a new voice actor. He has some very big shoes to fill. We have no idea who it's going to be, but whoever it is, they're stepping into a hard role. I welcome them. I hope they do a great job.
Yeah, I'll just throw out there, Dale is like the best character. I love him so much.
The only thing that I've heard recently about King of the Hill is that all the QAnon people who think that Dale is their icon are fucking stupid.
They are.
Yeah.
They are absolutely
and
stupid.
I respect that.
I love that cover photo of everybody kind of
I'm gonna throw it back
Dale getting Uber Eats and Boomhauer on a friggin' iPad.
That's not Dale getting Uber Eats, that's Bill.
I'm sorry, Bill getting Uber Eats, sorry. Yeah, and Dale's on a VR headset, Boomhauer's on a tablet, and Hank just looks like, what the hell happened here?
Let's not forget the 5G tower in the background and the drone delivering the beer.
Love that.
I mean, that's perfect.
Cute.
Yeah, give me a drone that brings me
With
beer.
an e-scooter in the background.
Yeah.
This is going to be great. I can't wait. I do wonder. I wonder how the characters have grown from.
Yeah. I only know what's happened with Bobby.
Right. We
That's
get to see. So yeah, look for an announcement for it to debut on Hulu soon. But yeah, you're going to get a very advanced sneak peek if you go to this festival.
Nice.
Which I wish I could go so much. Anyway.
Yeah. And I'm just throwing this to Cass and Kat. If y'all ever want to watch the show with someone, I will gladly rewatch it. I love watching King of the Hill.
Tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, find people
Turn
all
down for
around
what?
you who are like a fan of this thing.
Yeah.
My favorite gag from that show is when Hank has a can of WD-40 and he can't get the cap off. So he pulls a smaller can of WD-40 out of his belt, sprays the cap, pops it off. That is like my favorite stupid gag from that show.
I mean, if those kids could read, they'd be very upset. Is a pretty peak, like.
I want a
Oh, no, that
candy
one's good,
bar
too.
And some WD-40, damn it.
Meme.
That's my purse. That's the other one. I know.
Okay, so I said Dale was the best character. The second in command is Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby Heel. He's just so good. He is both smart and stupid.
Well, and the way that genuinely rednecks can be.
Not even just
children.
rednecks, teenagers, because he's like middle school.
If those kids
Bobby.
could read,
Yeah,
they'd be
okay.
upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the best memes out. Anyway, yeah, King of the Hill coming back. Can't wait.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
This is not an old show re-debuting, but like Jason Bateman, okay? I like Jason Bateman.
Do you?
I think he's weirdly hot.
Yep.
I had a nightmare the other night that involved he kissed me. It was gross. but that's only because he made the movie Juno. Celebrities don't frequently
That's fair.
feature in it. Anyway, love the Bateman versus Batman commercials. You still stuck on the nightmare? Okay, yeah, that wasn't the nightmare part of it. It was an elder god. Anyway, Jason Bateman, he made Arrested Development, and that was dope. And he made Ozark, and that was blue. I liked it. I watched it all the way through. He's partnering up with Netflix again, and Jude Law, and they're making a new show called Black Rabbit. And there's not very much about it except that they're two estranged brothers, and that's him and Jude Law, who reunite in the New York City nightlife and get tangled up in underworld crime.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
It's supposed to be a crime thriller with a lot of comedy, which I feel like his background has. Like, he was always the deadpan guy in Arrested Development, and then he did Ozark, and he was kind of a crime lord, although admittedly way out of his depth. And, like, I think they have alumni from, like, Ozark. Like, Laura Linney is directing some of the episodes for it. He's directing some of the episodes. He directed most of Ozark, I think. And yeah, that has a pretty good cast list. We don't really know, except I think we know this year. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to watch this.
I like
really
Jason
it.
Bateman. I honestly think
I don't think he's hot so much as anymore.
just
It's
gotta
like
reiterate
he's
that.
established and he's doing good stories.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
We've had a lot of casting news about Sunrise on the Reaping, and we got another one today that I think is Sunrise on the Reaping, the new Hunger Games prequel that follows Hamish Abernathy.
Yeah, of course.
In his Hunger Games. We got a new one. I think the most unhinged we've gotten so far. Kieran Culkin as Caesar Flickerman, which is Stanley Tucci's character in the original Hunger Games. Looking at these two, some similarity, maybe. But if you want to go someone who can play crazy, it's Kieran Culkin. Everything that I've ever seen this kid, I think he's older than me. Everything that I've ever seen him do is weirdly honest and incredibly bonkers. And I think this is an amazing casting. This follows Jesse Plemons as Plutarch Heavensbee. And the only one that I'm not super psyched about is Ralph Fiennes as President Snow. And it's not because I don't like Ray Fiennes. I think he's amazing. He can do so many things. It's just that Kiefer Sutherland was right there. Yeah.
I think they took it to Kiefer Sutherland.
I think that they probably
for him
did
to
take
say,
it,
like,
and he
no,
said
thank
no.
you.
We also have Elle Fanning as Effie Trinket, who was really, really interesting in
Elizabeth
almost
Banks.
everything. It's Elizabeth Banks' character, and Elle Fanning is good in pretty much everything I've ever seen her in, except for The Watchers. Maya Hawke is Wyrus, who I don't remember the lady that played her in the original series, but we've got a lot of interesting castings. Kat and I have talked about this before. We were not impressed with the last Hunger Games movie, although apparently the book was much better, and I'm hoping that this adaptation will do justice to the book, which is apparently amazing.
We talked about that on the show. If you ever want to go watch it, it's the last one we did with the Fates where it came out.
Mm-hmm.
They said the book was much better in that it explained what was going on in his head. Kieran Culkin tells me that Stanley Tucci's story is going to be heartbreaking because what Stanley Tucci didn't bring to the character very intentionally, I assume, was an authenticity.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be authentic. And so I think if you bring Kieran Culkin on, you're bringing on a naive guy who had big hopes and didn't think the world would be as cruel.
Yeah, and the only thing that I've heard about the book is that it is absolutely heartbreaking start to finish.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Fantastic.
it makes me assume
So-
they actually have a little bit more planned for like side roles like his, because I don't.
Yeah.
Can you think of another reason they bring on Kieran?
Nope.
He doesn't look like him. Really.
He doesn't look like him. He
And
can
that's
do
fine.
like
He can
weird,
do.
but like anybody can do weird.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an honest kid, not
Interesting.
kid, but
Yeah.
person with big aspirations that he's in a meritocracy of some sort.
Keep in mind, we're getting casting news right now, so this movie is still years away, probably at minimum 18 months. So, yeah, we've got a long way to go, but I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it. Yeah.
All right.
Cool, bring it on home.
All right, I'm going to bring everyone's favorite topic, Suikoden.
Of course.
Woo!
It's been a couple weeks since she talked about it.
You
so-
need a closer that will have all of us riveted.
All right, we got updates for the mobile game, Suikoden Starleap. So in the top here is from one of the cutscenes. It also displays one of the reoccurring characters that's usually in Suikoden, so this is confirmation we're going to get more. Her name is Vicky. I love her to death. She's ditzy and perfect. We've actually gotten confirmation on several characters that will be appearing here that are staples of some of the previous games, such as Flick, Victor, and Odessa, who are 3 of the heroes that you meet at the start of Suikoden 1, as well as Leknot and Luck, who are the kind of like the mystic and her assistant kind of characters. And of course Jean, who is the sexy witch that I love. Moving on though, if you look down in the bottom right, you'll see a shot of the war battle. So we are still going to be getting the classic war battles that we normally do. This looks like you'll be moving your faction around, similar to Suikoden 2 and 3. And over to the left, we have the like turn-based style battles. I like that it's more dynamic and that there's more environment to look at in these fights.
Yeah, it's pretty.
We've also been confirmed, like it was already confirmed, we got to hear in the trailer that they released, some of the voice acting that they've gotten. It sounds really great. I didn't want to play the trailer because it's essentially the same trailer that we'd played before, but I would recommend that people go watch it so you can hear the good voice acting. We also got an official timeline for the games. Which, thank goodness. Timeline-wise, if you wanted to play these in order, just obviously skipping Starleap, you would start with Suikoden 4, and then move on to Suikoden 5, and then Suikoden 1, 2, and 3. Starleap is going to be between Suikoden 5 and Suikoden 1, timeline-wise.
Nice.
Yeah. So, very quick. I'm just really excited. We don't have any more news about the anime or the manga. All we know is that Konami was also very impressed with the pre-order and sales of the game. Apparently, they highly exceeded expectations.
The fans showed up.
The fans showed up.
I was making a sarcastic comment in the chat, and sadly my phone has spelled Suikoden so many times it now offers a spelling of it now. Son of a bitch.
So what this means is that you should play Suikoden.
Because there's new content coming out.
There's new content coming out. And I'm going to tell you right now, if it takes me buying this game for y'all, I will do it.
It takes more than that. You gotta buy us a Steam Deck or a
Switch.
Yeah.
Fair.
Or
I don't have
PS2, I guess.
I don't have that kind of money, but I can
And
definitely
none of us
buy
do.
That doesn't come off.
a Steam key or two.
Well, don't. It don't.
Well, if we get the consoles, we might hit you up.
Yeah. Especially because Steam games go on sale. It's actually, I think it's on sale right now for a little bit.
So is God of War Ragnarok.
Woo! I like.
Good game.
Please play.
Check out the DLC.
Please play Suikoden so that I can feel like
No, I'm about to go play some more Doom after this. So.
that's lame.
You're
But,
still
okay.
saying Doom with an M, right?
Yes,
the Doom
Doom,
game,
the
the
Dark
Doom
Ages.
game's not
Why
out yet?
don't you assume it's
I have
with
to
an M?
edit the clips tonight because we got a busy weekend. So,
That's true.
so anyway, thank Cora. That's it for all of our stories. Like I said, guys, we'll be at Dreamhack Dallas this weekend, all weekend. Can you not give me this? Give me. Thank you.
Can I see it?
No, you
Can I
cannot.
see it?
No.
Let's close out the show. If you want to follow us on all the social medias at SCNS Live, and then I think we have a website. And throwing back to Jason.
SuperCoolNerdShow.com. Go check it out. Just got an alert that it was offline from my auto thing, my auto post thing. So yeah, I'll get that
It's
back
the
online.
traffic. It's so heavy. It's popular.
But
You wanna
yes,
be there.
check us out, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and of course on Facebook. If you want to follow us personally, you can follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at JasonTheX.
Follow me on Instagram and Threads at The Good Cast and Blue Sky at Moon Moon Pie.
Find me on Blue Sky and Instagram at BetterCat.
You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky, more so on Blue Sky, at Korodono Art. That's Koro with a K.
And look for lots of posts on Instagram from us as we are Dreamhack. Going to post as many pictures and little short interviews we'll be doing with people. So
Look for us in person if you're there.
come out and
Like,
have a good time.
honestly.
Starting tomorrow bright and early. Okay, that's it for us. We will see you guys next week. And as we always say around here, keep on nerding.
Force y'all to wait.
Ow.